the moment all of you brought him back from the dead and you made him your president of Nigeria, it is like bringing somebody from from the sewage, who have lived in sewage for 30 years. That sewage is not because he had no money or he had no this. It is the sewage of ignorance, especially the one that kind of make him so entitled. He is not ambitious for anything. You all went there to drag him and brought him back. So when you showed him that opulence, 21st century lifestyle, the weary decided to enjoy it to the fullest. He would rather spend out his time in London, hospital, house rest, and the rest of that, while the rest of you are languishing in your shithole, Nigeria. And then you can say whatever you like. He gave no damn about anybody. So what when Tifnumbu started suffering his dementia, his tremor, where his hands are shaking, and his his voice are also shaking, sluggish. So what they did then was that, as a private Tifnumbu, who had the money anyway, so he was able to get a proper medical view that can maintain the degenerating. You see me, I don't talk like a scientist now. They say there are some genes that are in us. When we start getting old, some of these gene, I be what they call them. That's in chromosome. I don't know. Anyway, I want some nonsense. But all of you will be scientists. They say all are something where they are our body from the brain to everything, the gene, everything. They will begin to degenerate. You begin to lose some of them. And if you have to suffer any serious medical kind of condition like dementia, drug abuse, those things like that, they can be brought forward. And you can begin to suffer that earlier, like memory loss, dementia like that. I don't know all the names, but your hand go to shake, your leg go to shake. All of that, you go to pee yourself sometimes, urinary something, sure you get. Anyway, so Tifnumbu, when you get to that stage of your life, what they will do is to manage it for you. There are medication that manages them and slow the degeneration. Sure you get, because you are older, and if you are suffering those things, sometimes within the space of 2-3 years, sometimes 5 years, it will go so bad. But there are medications that can actually slow down the degeneration. You are still going to degenerate, you. Sure you get. That is why this life is even vanity. Okay? You are still going to, that thing is still going to happen to you, that you are still going to become vegetable, useless. So, but with good care, they will slow it, they will manage it, and you can even live longer. So Tifnumbu then will go and take his injection. Sometimes he will go for a month. Sometimes he will go for two months. Sometimes 3 months. At times 6 months. He has been running it for a while like that, without a lot of you having to care, because you don't even know, except when he says something, and then we fire him. So when the election was coming, it became obvious, where is Tifnumbu? Where is he? What is he doing? So they have to make him available in Nigeria. And it was under more pressure of just traveling alone, campaign this and that. So which means that further exposed his sickness. And you saw a lot on camera. So immediately they managed to declare him and rigged him. And he's sworn in. He didn't want to be like a Bokwari, traveling for medical care. Instead of going to Muhammad, why don't you just bring Muhammad to you? Apologies to the religious, to the fanatic Muslims, so because now something they make your prick hard, yo. My don't ever use Muhammad in your narrative. You now you go tell me who I go use. Anyway, apologies to you, Sha, because now small thing they make all of una prick. Before you know it now, una go they wank in public, now go they masturbate in public. Well, my egun, wash your mouth. My egun, be careful. I want defender Allah. I want echo mug of Allah. Anyway, apologies, Isha. You know what you mean, eh? You mean apology, yeah, but it has to be on record where I said apology, Isha. So Tifnubu choose not to be going to France in order to further expose his serious ailment. You will never have access to those records because you didn't demand for that of a Bokwari. So bring them to Nigeria. That's what Bokwari should have done. Bring them to Nigeria. Put them inside the Aso Rock. The one where they're supposed injection, where they're supposed to give you in the morning, they go give them in the morning before the people come out and say, "Good morning, sir. Good morning, Mr. President." So that his words won't be sluggish, his hands won't be shaking, and he won't completely be lost in the room. Like, Bawoni Adija, sir, it's me, Mayegun. Sorry, I thought you are Adija. I thought Adija was sitting down there. Because Adija no yara she might koloni. Ewola Adija no katan so sickness in you is a very terrible one. And that is why when you get older, you should get some rest. If you live long enough to get to 70 years of your age, Baba, go and rest. You don't know what you have survived. But greed won't let people like him do that. Abi? You go see say one ya ele na house be this so like they or no, but nobody dey house. Not if no be that. Bring them to Nigeria. So egbani injection laaro. The one where we say you remember when he was coming back from France and you saw that catcher be kilon quick in of infect jesi on lara. That's where they take pass blood and drip abi wait till they call am to your body. When Tifnubu came and that one was showing under his armpit, abi, they didn't want that like that to happen anymore. Don't give them too much to pray on, okay, to proud on, okay? Bring them to Nigeria. That is why he hand don't they too shake again, no? So don't think like I thought they said this man is sick or they look what you know. They can't agree. Una know they accept. Say you are dumb. They say Nigerians get they say Nigerians are hey, there's something they say Nigerians are smart, but they are not intelligent. I agree, you. No be all Nigerians, so. Nigerians are smart. When you say book smart, if you meet Nigerians that are really, really smart with a book, like when you look at them, you say, "Oh wow, you are so intelligent." There are no teachers intelligent thinking. That's the other thing. There are no teachers anything like that. You want to think too much. They ask too much questions. It's like devil don't they enter you, Abi. They told you this is it. Just leave it like that. Don't ask too much question. And then you too, to show that you are smart, you begin to also regurgitate that nonsense because you are educated. Let me tell you something. And that's why you see a lot of them that can speak good English, Abi. They can speak so well, but they are not intelligent. Ian, don't they shake again? I thought they said this man is sick. Share that if Numbu look well to you. That one look like person with the normal. You know. Anyway, it's so simple. Give him his injection in the morning. Give him in the afternoon before the camera comes in. Don't put him one-on-one with anybody that will ask him too much question. Don't let him stay with other people to ask him too much question. Any camera that is going to come to this room, please make sure that everybody will come inside this room. Nobody could come ambush us. So we don't want anything to expose him. And then the dumbbells are like, his hand is not shaking again. It's like he's pretending during the election. A lot there look what you know. And that is why people like Hopeless Uzotimba can tell you it will give you 4,000 visa to go to Europe and not 4,000 jobs in Imo States. But 4,000 jobs in Canada, 4,000 jobs in Europe. The one that majority of you are already selling your properties to get the visa to go to. Abi, selling everything you can sell. And just call, once you finish everything, Canada, yeah. Now you and who? You know they come back again. It be like they swear for you, Abi. I don't sell everything. Canada that Nigerians, Imolites, and all of these young people all over Nigeria, especially southern Nigeria, are already doing everything they can to get out of Nigeria. Now your politician is now campaigning using Japa as a campaign. Nigeria finally. You want somebody to interpret that for you or to you in Portuguese at English, Abi? Do you need any other textbook definition of a country? Courtesy of these criminals. Democracy. Take a look at the mirror. Check it. Then you see the fool that believes that. Go on, try it. Yeah, go on. Go to your bathroom or grab a mirror. Take a look at that mirror. Exactly. That is the fool that believes that Nigeria or Tita Oshin Tabo Nibi Gugurabi. So we hope that the next thing we are going to hear is, I'm actually kind of a bit surprised that the minister that they said chop poison is still in Nigeria. They never fly him abroad because usually they don't fly him abroad. But they said it's in Jabi Hospital right now, where she is fighting for her life. But you trust APC, they will tell you, no, it's not. That is not the story. Then later they will come back and say RIP. Ironio, people will won't take her place. As she did hospital right now, people among them, they can't wait for them to say breaking news. But people like us, Mayegun, are those they said are the enemies of Nigeria. I want Wireo. But let's go a little bit forward. Just a few days ago, it was a fight between Devulumayi and the staff of the Ministry of Works. You know, governors in Nigeria live like emperors. They are like a mini Hitlers in their different states. Okay? They are like the alpha and omega of their different states. If you cross the governor, Baba, Omo, you better run, Unio. In my own state, Ogun State, where a former credit card fraudster, dubious Dapo, returned to Nigeria, linked up with the corrupted system, made so much money with his own petroleum oil company. The oil company is called Aiding Oil. Those who are into either crude oil smuggling, oil stealing, falsification of a subsidy money. At a point, he was actually among those being investigated to be sent to jail. Dubious Dapo, that's the governor of my own state, okay? When they were investigating subsidy removal, my own, this one that became the governor of my own state, it was one of those that were supposed to be sent to jail, who took money from Nigeria and diverted the oil to neighboring countries. They collected subsidy in Nigeria and they took the oil to different countries. But he got rewarded. Do you understand that? He got rewarded and he became the governor in Ogun State. Then somebody now accused him of, not somebody. A local government chairman in that same state accused him of not remitting or giving them their allocations since 2019, since he became the governor of the state. He has held on to the local government resources. So they now said, putting everything together, this guy has diverted over 70 billion naira for 4 years. A local government chairman making that allegation wrote a petition to the EFCC. Do you know what happened? DSS arrested him. They arrested him, and then they charged him for accusing the governor of diverting money. No investigation about the money. Even me sitting down here, Mayegun, I can give you account step by step of how much money this criminal has stolen from my own state and my own people. But he's above the law. He has been rewarded by the system. If you therefore try to use the system to challenge him, now you go down. This is the life of a state governor in Nigeria, or the life of state governors in Nigeria. Don't cross them. The former, now that local government chairman, they have impeached him. Guess why they impeached him? The councillors from his local government working for the governor, they accused the local government chairman of spending 500,000 naira to host a program, and he did not give them receipts. They said He spent 3.5 million naira to organize Christmas party for children in the local government, and he did not give them receipts. Because of this, he is accusing the state governor of diverting over 70 billion. 3.9 million naira, 4 million naira, and 70 billion naira. Any kind of kind of closeness to them? Thank you. If he stole the money, that is, if he stole the money, of course, he has committed a crime and therefore he must be removed. But we all know that is actually not the intention. The governor told them to remove him, so they removed him. EFCC didn't investigate the money. The Nigerian government didn't investigate the money. The Algon, there's something called Algon, Association of Local Government or something of Nigeria, Algon. That is the body of the 774 local government areas in Nigeria. They didn't say anything. It got removed. The money is gone. If you go to Ogun State today, you will think, you are just entering Syria when Syria just finished their civil war. That's exactly what Ogun State looks like right now. But the level of poverty conditioning is why I told you, these praise singers you saw with Oplesus Odingba in Imo, the idiot, the old and young born idiot that you saw in Imo, we have them plenty in Ogun State too. For aye poverty on it, my brother. Oh yeah, tadano. Oh yeah, do this. Say yeah, poverty. Missa, poverty. May God separate you and poverty. Baba, poverty is mean. It is evil. It demeans you. It reduces your self-esteem. It kills the man in you. It kills the ambition in you. When poverty shocks you, when it holds you, it turns you to a shameless person, an animal, a beast, and finally, a criminal. It is an horrible thing. It is a scourge that when you see those who are actually fueling it, nurturing poverty, they deserve death sentence. Poverty kills. It kills everything, including dreams. Go away, ungrateful man. Somebody made you a local government chairman. In that time, you got to do show. Instead, make you chop your own. Nobody is chopping his own. When you look at all these political jobbers that you call your elected politicians, you need to go and see how miserable the lives of those local government administrators are, especially in Ogun State. Now, for people to hold them, they beat them on the street remain now. Local government chairman, when if he construct drainage in his own local government. Local government chairman that cannot construct 10 kilometers of road within their own local government. Local government chairman, administrators that could not supervise a clean environment in their own local government because they don't get resources to do anything. No thanks to criminals like Dubious Dapo. So when we talk about governors, they are emperors above the law. The young man that published the image of Dubious Dapo when he was arrested and tried and possibly jailed in Florida in 1985. Dubious Dapo, that young man that published the image, a journalist, a blogger in Ogun State, spent nearly 2 years in Nigerian jail. He wasn't jailed by the courts. He was locked up by the governor. His family, the court said he should be released. They disobeyed that. Until his family members of the public, here and there, started begging the emperor, Dubious Dapo. And they took the boy to him to go and say, sorry, sir. I am so sorry, sir, for publishing your mugshot when you went to jail in America. But he's a governor. How dare you publish that? Who are those who send you? You are my enemy. All my political enemies, Abi. You are working for my enemies, Abi. Who told you to go and publish that I went to jail? I was a credit card fraudster. I was a subsidy oil thief. How dare you? I'm sorry, sir. I will never do that again, sir. Forgive me, sir. I am so sorry, sir. It's my enemy. It's your enemy that be. Fuck it, man. Sorry about that. And I think this is the mentality that the likes of Wike took to Abuja. The same one that Devulumayi took to Abuja. And before you know it, they said Devulumayi came to work. And he locked everybody out. I said, hey, you need to be serious. All of you have to be serious this time around. If you are coming, if you still want to work here, you must come to work before me. Ha, chengbo wiri. Una don't do your initial grabi. Okay. Now Gungo Kiyo, Umayi. This will not be a bonyo. Whatever you did in the boy before you got here, may you stay for a bonyo. Now Gungo Kiyo. They called the shot in front of the ministry. That was day one. See them, shameless people. It is government work. We can arrive at the time whenever we want. Why is he locking us out? That was the one. Bad behavior. You know, Nigerians are not different from their leaders because their leaders are also the products of that same, they are like the product from that same Nigeria and Nigerians. The following day, now minister come late. Now Umayi came late. They can't lock gates. Say Umayi self, you come late, you no go enter. Another sin too started again, but I'm not going to take you to that one. I'm going to take you to the one when they finally let Umayi enter. I say, listen, Baba, we get rule here. This one will be a bonny. And you just came. You need us. We need to work together. We need to, blah, blah, I won't query. Let's go to their ministry, just for the record. No, you know what I mean? And how did that go? This.
In civil service, Honorable Minister, there are laid down principles, there are guidelines in running the civil service. Can you hear me? There are guidelines and principles in running the civil service. No one is a sole administrator. It doesn't happen in civil service. Please calm down. We were surprised for us to come to office this morning and we found out the security personnel told us that you gave instruction for them to lock the gate. Sir, to us, you have actually placed the cart before the horse. Since you came in, have you had any issue with you? No. And you have never deemed it fit to call us as stakeholders to address us if you have challenges. Rather than all these things, we see your media castigating us as civil servants. It's uncalled for. It's uncalled for. Whether you like it or not, civil servants are the most respected citizens in this country. Without civil service, this country cannot move forward. Sir, you are saddled with responsibility of an administrator to fix Nigerian roads. But sir, it's very unfortunate. You have been here for months now. We want you to swing into action. We have not seen even a kilometer of road being laid. Rather, you kept on going around and castigating us, intimidating us. Sir, we are not like that. And we cannot take that. Sir, you see, what we want is that we are civil servants. You need to respect us in the first place. It is a must that you respect us. It's a must. Now, secondly, you need to carry us along. You cannot do this work alone. And you cannot import workers from outside to do the work for us. It is not possible. So what we want is total respect. What we want to fix this nation. The Mr. President have agenda a renewed hope. And we are here to fix him with his agenda. We want to run with him, Mr. President. We want to make sure that this country is a befitting country for all of us. We want to make sure that Nigeria is a country that we all of us can be proud of it. So what we want you is what? To swing into action, sir. We have told you right from the beginning, from the day you gave, that we are going to support you. But sir, how do we support you in this manner? Like I said earlier, you can't place the cat before the horse. You can't get a good result. If you had called us earlier and told us your grievances, then we'll be able to pass it across to our members. And once we pass it, anybody that now default, like I said, there are laid down rules and regulations in civil service. You give query. It's one of them. You don't just come and say, lock the gate. Sir, we are sorry, with due respect. This is not state. This is federal government. No. So please, Honorable Minister, like I have said, every staff of this ministry must carry along. We don't want you to bully.
You know something, right? The guy was like, I am ready to lose my job. Because as you are seeing the guy, if he be billionaire, I want criminals. If you see the corruption that this civil servant, I'm sorry, man, I'm sorry, sir. Especially some of you who are civil servants. Don't talk like that. You know what I'm talking about. You know it. It is in Nigeria you will see somebody who is dressing like somebody who is an Okada rider. But they will say he's Keneko in the ministry. And that person where they wear one oversized suit, pretending to be a pastor from Redeem, Abi Deeper Life. You'll be hearing that he has about 20 houses. You see all those choice places where you go. His children, they are schooling abroad. His wife, she's a big woman doing her business, but her husband, he go to wear apron over oversized suit. That guy that is talking there, if he be billionaire or multimillionaire, not from salary, here you get, and there are many like that in the ministry. So governor, come, one day, governor, you need to you don't talk to us like that too. And I bet a lot of you who were listening were like, about now federal, one federal ni. Anyway, Umayi spoke as well, okay? They said, you have been going about. Everywhere you take camera, your people are abusing us. Your people they are calling us names on social media. And here you are. You have been here for months. We have not seen a kilometer of road. And you are telling everybody, you're going to construct this one. Shebi, I told you. Everything they say to you not lie. If they come pretending that they do something they told you they want to do, no, they are stealing money. They are not going to do it. Now, civil servant, they tell and they'll say, 1 kilometer of road we have not seen. Or you're castigating us. Now they talk. Baba, Esa, this is not state. Oh, you are listening to Umayi part. Umayi self get answer. Abi, listen.
Can you listen to me? You have to hear me. Can you listen and hear me? We needed to get your attention and listen to me. I came here on 22nd of August, and I came with 2 agendas. Number 1 is the welfare of the workers. And can you listen to me? Can you listen to me, please? And number 2 is the discipline of each and every one of us. Now, on Tuesday, there was going to be a holiday. And to demonstrate the fact that I came with 2 agendas, your welfare. Go and ask people that work with me. Listen, I gave on my own, my money, 15 million naira on Tuesday to share to every worker in this ministry. I even said I'm a worker, and what the cleaner gets should be what I get. He should have told you that I came with agenda. I have had meetings with directors. They are here. And I told them, there is no worker in this ministry that should be looking for money to pay the school fees of the children. I said that to them. And they are here. Can you listen? Is that the way your workers behave? They say I should talk to them, and they can't listen. Can you listen to me? Not to worry. The taste of the food is in the eating. Is that okay? So don't worry about what I have told you. Now, this morning, since the 22nd of August, I would come to work. I see workers coming to work by 12 o'clock. Listen. By 1 o'clock, I've had to send some of them to the PAM secretary to talk to them. Just a week ago, I called all the directors. I said, without discipline, it's difficult. I come to work and ask for files. Some of the staff are not yet in the office to provide the files. By 3 o'clock, I asked for files. Some workers would have left. So I now spoke to them. I said, can we agree? Because I know the situation in Abuja. Can we agree on the time that workers will come to work and the time that workers can close? And I offer that workers should come to work by 9 o'clock. That's what I offer to them. It's supposed to be transmitted to the workers, I believe. And now, well, that is the meeting. They are here. That's the meeting I had with them. And so, because I can't do without you, and you cannot do without me. So we must have... Okay, you can do without me, no problem. Okay. Now, don't worry. Listen. Now, if that was not transmitted, today I came to work by 9:30. I had a number of files to transmit because of the budget that is ongoing. We have not submitted our own. And then not up to 5% of the workers were in. I told the human resources, I need to get the attention of the workers. I needed to come and address you at the gate. That was it.
70 years old man.
Somebody said the violence civil service at a violence minister, there is no way their relationship is going to work. And that is a pointer to some of those things that are going on in different ministries under Tifnumbu. The ones that make it to the camera are the ones you are currently watching. He was telling them, I cannot do without you. And you cannot do without me. Hey, Agbeni Koshidanu, we don't get too many ministers before you. We can do without you. Even the guy on his side was like, don't say that, don't say that. Please. Obong bobo gokwe. Monkey they carry monkey climb palm tree. Obong bobo gokwe. However, there is a man who knows it better. I'll take and use that one, drink my tea. Don't go anywhere.
I don't read social media anymore. They abuse the hell out of me. If I read it, I get high blood pressure. I get angry. I don't read it. So, if I want to hear anything, my children or any of my workers will tell me, this one say this one. If I'm tired, I say, please, forget it.
Forget it. I think he's talking about people like me too. Like, they abuse. We are not abusing you, Kolu. We are actually telling the world who you are and what you represent. Which, if to say our heroes past, if they were actually heroes, somebody like you should never have happened. But here we are. The worst has happened. And talking about the emergence of Kolu and the drama around all of the tribunals, the courts that are looking into all the cases. The drama that happened in Kaduna is even different from all other dramas you have witnessed. We have seen where the tribunal have rejected the position of an institution authorized to issue certificates on a particular service in Nigeria, and they said somebody who never got their certificates. And when they came out and said, we didn't give him the certificates, they said, well, it doesn't matter. The certificate is original, even if it's fake. Okay? We have seen places where the tribunal have given ridiculous judgment, and we have also seen where the tribunal judges had to run away and deliver their judgment through the Zoom or through Zoom. You see that one that happened in Kaduna? It is a travesty, confusion. And right now, those who received the judgment are still explaining. Once inshallah, when you meet APC, well, what is that Kaduna judgment? Who is the winner? Of course, now the court said we won. The court declared me winner. When you meet APC, when you meet people destroying people from that same Kaduna, what do you think about that Kaduna judgment? Who won? My brother, na PDPO. Because the tribunal thrown out the, what do you call it? The defense of the APC governor, Ubasani. So what is now the final judgment? Baba, I don't know. I'll tell you. It is the ridiculous stage and then, what do you call it? Destructive state that the Nigerian judiciary has come to, by the way. But let me explain something to you. What happened? They have three members of the panel of the judiciary, of the tribunal. So each judge or each member of the tribunal will write their own judgment based on the argument and everything in the case that they actually kind of sat over. Now, what usually happens is this. It is either the three of them or all the members of the tribunal, their judgment will come same way, which means they will rule, rule the same way, which is like throw the case out. Oh, approve the prayers. But in a case whereby the tribunal judges, they have different opinions about the case and they write their judgment based on that, then to now go into voting. So when you have three, it simply means if one writes a judgment that says PDP has no case, and the second one says PDP had case, and Ubasani should be removed, that is tight. So to have a breaker, the third judge, if his own judgment says Ubasani should be left alone, a 1, that will now be 2-1 judgment. Here you get. So if the two of them say, if two says PDP proved their case, they won, and the third person says no, they didn't, so it's going to be 2-1. So So the judgment will come accordingly. So what happened in Kaduna Judgment Tribunal? I'll tell you as much as I understand though. Two judges who are called members of the tribunal, okay? I use judges for them because they are those who determine the cases. They are not necessarily judges, but one of them is a judge, which is appointed by the Court of Appeal, right? So they said two members wrote that because INEC violated their own electoral act, the same electoral act that Yakubu violated, that is making the obedient and so many other people so angry with what happened in this 2023 charade. Abi, not following their own rules, changing the goalpost in the middle of the game. Two panel members of the tribunal in Kaduna, they agreed with PDP that the result of the election was manipulated. APC lost Kaduna. We all know that, and we know the abracadabra of the last minute anyway, right? They lost so woefully in Kaduna. And the tribunal agreed that the failure of INEC to upload the result on IREF as the law stipulated, their own electoral act stipulated, violated the electoral act, and therefore they should go for a rerun. That was their own position. So the defense that Ubasani put up, that they should throw out all this petition and nonsense. Those two members of the panel, they throw it back at him. Like, bag nonsense, the defense, so she don't defend the. What kind of defense is this? Are you mad? You show one. Get off here. Then it was the turn of the lead judge. The one that is the only one. Why the two have already ruled? It was that one, that now ruled that despite all of that, he believes that PDP did not prove their evidence, did not prove any case, and Ubasani is the winner. So where did the confusion come from? The confusion came from the fact that when the first two panel members were reading their judgments, and they read to the point they said, we hereby struck out the defense of Ubasani, who is the defendant in this case, that he did not win the election. Breaking news. Ubasani has been thrown out. Then another one, when another one read the zone and he said, but in another way, they grant the prayers of a PDP that there should be a rerun in some polling units in Kaduna, which they believe that were manipulated. So you see these two prayers, rerun, thrown out, PDP just went to market. They didn't wait for the third guy. So the third guy now came and he started reading his own. And when he read his own, he now said, even though it's 2-1, but it doesn't matter. Ubasani has proved that he won. PDP didn't prove anything. Now, on top of this confusion, first, now the lawyer, they say this one are the lawyer who actually was there. Of course, it's APC. He's going to lie to you. I'm sorry. Let's keep the lie on record. And let's kind of hear the other side of the story. Now, I'm going to take you to Ubasani himself here.
What happened today is that the tribunal, if you remember, when in July specifically, we have filed and prayed that the tribunal should dismiss the petition and consider it abandoned. And today, in the ruling of the tribunal, it agrees with our position, and it has said that the PDP and Isa Aishiru have really abandoned their petition as far back as 30th of May 2023. And it has dismissed the petition as being abandoned. But since by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the decision of the higher court, they are mandated after dismissing the petition to look at the petition and see whether there is merit in it. So on that, they found out that on the allegation of rigging of the election, that they talk about violence, ballot box stuffing, and corrupt practices. The court say they have no proof that there is no merit on that. But they said, of course, in its wisdom, majority of them, they said, based on the document from EC4TG that are submitted, there are 22 polling units to which election were cancelled and which they have 16,000 registered voters who have collected their PVC. So the INEC ought not to have made declaration without conducting election in those 22 polling units. So the tribunal say, assuming it has not dismissed the petition, it could have ordered for election in those 22 polling units. So that's what happened. So on the petition has been dismissed, but it has looked at the admission. They say that it has looked at the merit of the petition. They say the tribunal held that it ought to have ordered for it had ordered election in 22 polling units before final declaration can be made. But the decision as at now is that the petition has been dismissed.
Not a leading judgment.
No, not leading judgment, just that the decision, because there was ruling and there is judgment. In the ruling, it has been dismissed. So it is, if the Court of Appeal found that the ruling is wrong, now the judgment will come into being.
Nuisance lele. Nuisance lele.
Understand what he's saying? He's a lawyer. He's a lawyer to the Kaduna governor. That explanation, listen to me, he's a lawyer, B. That explanation he just made now, did it make any sense to you? He said they moved a motion at the tribunal on the 30th of May, telling the tribunal that PDP has abandoned their petition. Now, APC tells tribunal that PDP has abandoned petition, so that they wanted the tribunal to dismiss it since PDP has abandoned petition. PDP didn't say they abandoned petition, though. See this Kaduna lawyer, APC, Egbekegbe lawyer, that he explained for how many minutes there? 150 seconds, 2 minutes, 30 seconds. So what he was telling you was that in May, the APC, they told the tribunal that PDP has abandoned their case. So tribunal dismissed it, John. So tribunal dismissed it since May. But they want to look at the merit of the case. Just to see, after they dismiss it, so the tribunal now felt like, so that they will not look like they are not fair. So that is why they now wanted to look at the merit of the case. So when they now look at the merit of the case, they now discover that, we shouldn't have dismissed the case in May. There's no way they dismiss any case. Tribunal did not dismiss any case in May. Sure you get. But APC said they dismissed it because they told them to. They say, okay, now when the tribunal now said, this case get merit, assuming that we didn't dismiss it in May now, we would have just asked them to do election in 22 polling units. So that, sorry. So is there any judgment now that said they have dismissed the case now? No, there's no need for judgment. They have already done that for us in May. What are you talking about? You don't understand. You are not a lawyer. You will not know what I am saying. That's when they want to confuse you. That is when these Olori Brukus want to make you look like, now you get problem. You don't get problem. It is a shithole country. It is a crime scene. Everybody is playing his parts. Lawyers, police, DSS, pastor, imam, alaji, babalawo, mamalawo, your elder, your junior, your everybody, they play their own role. Everyone is playing his own role in the shithole to make the disorganized concentration camp to still be existing. Can it make any sense to you? Does that make any sense to you? Oh, we didn't know that it will have merits. So is there any judgment then? No. There is no need for judgment. All these ones you are seeing is just you understand. You are not a lawyer. It's a law. You see, in section 37, he knows you won't go and read it. He knows you don't know what is section 30, section 3, verse section 3, chapter 3, verse 2. You don't know what it is. He knows you won't go and check. And he'll be telling you, don't understand. It's a different thing in law. It's a different thing in law. You see, in law, right? During Abagedon versus Babangida in 1921, you see, in ethics section versus section kiniko, now there you go and say the law. I don't get them. I understand. Don't worry yourself. Very useless people. Did that make any sense? They set up a tribunal to listen to electoral disputes. Present your evidence, fight over that, and then once you prove your case, the tribunal will rule. But APC is now explaining, wait for the governor. May I play that one for you? The governor explanation. That one go even like, that one go move you to another cloud. Listen to this.
Your Excellency, that this might be upturned at the upper court, seeing that there's an obvious inroad, an obvious technicality here, which is the talk about, well, the court could have ordered a supplementary election. So aren't you concerned that this might be something that might topple your case at the upper court?
No, I'm not worried about, because of course when you go to appeal, you have to also set aside the ruling by the tribunal, which I respect the judges, because I believe, like I said, we need to always respect our judiciary. You need to set aside. That's the most important thing. But their judgment is something that have already been proven by the Supreme Court previously. So I don't think it's something I should be worried about.
Right. But still looking at that margin, really, what do you think was responsible? Because some would say the APC had ruled or governed the state for 8 years. So it was expected that at least the APC will get some magnanimity from the people in terms of elections. But coming that close, just over 10,000 votes. So do you see that as a verdict on the kind of governance that APC has given the state for 8 years? What exactly?
I don't think that was the reason, because if you ask me, there were 2 elections. The first one, I think why the PDP believed they can even win the governorship election was simply because, remember, just before my election, I came to the Channels Television and I granted interview with you guys. And at that point, PDP were going around with propaganda that they are going to win a governorship election in Kaduna. But I made it clear to you that the people of Kaduna State are very clever people. They are people that are extremely very knowledgeable about the 2 candidates, myself and Honorable Isa Ashuru. And they know our track record. As a senator, they know what I did. So that was the reason why I defeated the PDP candidate. And again, when you remember the first election, that's the House of Reps and the Senate, probably because we lost some of the seats. And that is one, so we lost momentum at that time. But eventually, like I said before the election, that look, the people of Kaduna State will come out to vote for any candidate based on his track record. I'm sitting here as the governor because the people voted for me based on my track record. That is why. So in politics, whether you defeated a candidate with 5,000, 6,000, 100,000, 200,000, it doesn't matter. What is more important is winning an election. I will win the election.
So let's talk about governance. Yes, the coming days, weeks will be interesting at the courts, but there's still...
I mean, that is exactly what everyone or anyone in his shoes will say. Abi, there's another part where it was like, it's like Tifnumbu. I don't listen to social media and all the comments on social media. Maybe PDP can continue to celebrate that they won on social media and all that. That part, yeah.
Be on the program.
Thank you for having me.
The election itself was a very close one. I mean, looking at the numbers, only about 10,000 votes separated you from Mr. Ashiru. So, we'll be on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Well, you were at that NEC meeting when the court's proceedings were on. I wonder if you were able to concentrate, because it's natural may want to keep your mind on what's going on at the tribunal with, all of the important things also going on. So were you able to concentrate at NEC with the judgment going on at the tribunal?
Of course, 100%, because I have no doubt in my mind that the people of Kaduna State gave me popular mandate, and I also have no doubt in my mind that our lawyers who represented us at the tribunal made our case clear. There was never a time PDP proved anything that actually showed that the election was not free and fair. And that was the reason why I was very, very focused on the NEC meeting today, which we actually discussed a lot of things that affects the economy of the country and our own states. And I'm happy when, after the NEC meeting, when I had the news that the tribunal dismissed PDP's application against the election. Of course, I was not surprised because throughout the tribunal sitting, our lawyers were briefing me about what was happening. And as someone who was part of the Electoral Act in this country, don't forget that I was in the National Assembly for 4 years. And I was among the people that actually sat down together and amended the Electoral Act. So I know actually PDP do not have a case. They do not present any witness from any polling unit that actually was able to make any case or prove that the election was not free.
Anyway, let's put that aside. The news that just came in now is that there could have been a plan to kill Tifnumbu by his own people today. Even though this is an information that is just coming in right now. So what does that mean? You could have heard the news that the president of Nigeria has been shot down and killed. His airplane or his aircraft has been shot down in Niger Republic. Tifnumbu declared war on Niger. And by so doing, he should ordinarily know, and those around him should ordinarily know, that Tifnumbu should not be seen anywhere near Niger Republic, not their airspace, and not anywhere near about their border. We're just talking about where is Tifnumbu. They said Tifnumbu has been stuck in Nigeria for the past days or a day or two now. The reason is because those who took him from America to France, which is not far from Africa, by the way. Now, if you are going to fly to Nigeria, there is no way you are going to avoid the airspace of Niger. Now, they said somehow, the military junta in Niger Republic, they got the wind that Tifnumbu will be flying over their country in another few hours. So in their own kind of, so they said the Nigerian Air Force, they were asking for permission. Can you imagine that? The country you wanted to go and invade, somehow, you idiots were sending signal to them that your president is going to fly over. You need their permission so that they can fly over your airspace. In response, they told them, if you fly Tifnumbu over our airspace, we will shoot you down and with them the consequences. So right now, they are figuring out where and how they are going to fly Tifnumbu into Nigeria. It is either they have to go to Qatar, find another route. Instead of them flying from from Algeria to Nigeria in a few hours, it may take them another 2-3 days, except there is a diplomatic solution to this. So right now, what I see in that is that while we are here, it be like say some people were already plotting to get Tifnumbu killed by themselves. And then they will probably blame it on anyone. Whoever are those who are planning Tifnumbu's trip, those who are his security, those who are flying him, I mean, their incompetence, either intentionally or unintentionally. You could have heard the breaking news, so say they don't kill Tifnumbu for Niger. That is the breaking news. Let's go a little bit forward. Mind you, I have something for you. Since I just mentioned Niger, Professor Lumumba had this to say about the criminals ruining Africa. Sit tight, greedy, selfish, corrupt criminals that don't care about the future of their own people. Here, a brief one.
I've said this before. No matter how good a dancer you are, you must know when to leave the stage. There are too many dancers in Africa who think I'm the only dancer in town. And until God calls me, I'm not leaving the stage. Such dancers will be removed by men. And that is how I explained the coup d'etat that are coming here in 1964, talking about the military interventions in civilian government. This is what Kwame Nkrumah said. The military have no business interfering with civilian governments. But if civilian governments misbehave, it may become necessary for a short period to disrupt their agenda so that they can midwife a new dispensation. It is in this context that we must understand the military interventions. But remember that true democracy requires and demands the eternal vigilance of the people, because Africa has also seen a situation where military leaders remove their uniform and adorn suits, and lo and behold, like Paul and Saul, they become civilians themselves. And therefore, it is important, even as we celebrate these military coups, to remind ourselves that they are merely midwives. And midwives are neither the father, nor the mother, nor the child. Their duty is to ensure that all the three are happy. And we, the population, must be eternally vigilant. And that is why, therefore, when we talk about democracy, we must ask ourselves, what are we doing wrong? And we must also ask the question, are coup d'etats only mounted by men and women in uniform? No. I've seen coups mounted by judiciaries in Africa. I've seen coups being mounted by the political class in Africa. When people engage in sophistry in interpreting constitution, those are also coup d'etats. And I would want us, therefore, as we talk about strengthening democracy, we must also talk about strengthening institutions. Whether it is in Kenya, whether it is in Zimbabwe, whether it is in Nigeria, whether it is in Ghana, we must have a culture of respecting institutions. Sometimes in Africa, we behave as if institutions work on their own motion. No. Institutions are as strong as the men and women who occupy them. If you have wrong men and wrong women in office, no matter how strong the institution you claim to be strong, it will not perform, because the history of nature is one: garbage in, garbage out. And if that is the case, therefore, we who are gathered here and talking about governance, this is serious business. What we are talking about here is serious business. I want you to look at Africa now with me. In Sudan, in Khartoum, because of bad governance and absence of democracy, no schooling going on in Khartoum. If you are a university professor, no university to lecture at. There is no agriculture going on there. There are no health services going on there in Khartoum. The thing that they built, they are destroying. It will take generations to rebuild Sudan. We are talking about development. In the health sector, all the children that ought to have been vaccinated will not be vaccinated. which means that all the disease that we had conquered will come back again, so that the health burden will be that heavy. No food is being planted, so that we'll once again be importing rice and wheat from Ukraine, which is at war. Look at the Sahel now. Mali is de facto divided into two, no agriculture going on, so that you will be importing chicken from Brazil, chicken. No agriculture. I'm talking about development, brothers and sisters. If you are sick because there is no research going on in our universities, no research. We receive medicine from India, from China, and we take the medicine by faith because we do not know what they contain. Our bureaus of standardization have no standards for these things. And if you doubt me, only recently we had syrup imported from India. How many children did it kill in the Gambia? We have no standardization. So we are talking about serious business in Africa. Go to the Democratic Republic of Congo, the eastern part of it, over 120 armed groups. The busiest airspace in the continent of Africa. The rest of the world is taking our resources. There is a new scramble for Africa. Today, Africa is a theater for other worlds. If the British have gone and they have not gone, if the French have gone and they have not gone, if the Portuguese have gone and they have not gone, if the Belgians have gone and they have not gone, Chinese are also here.
Liar.